to help you so that you can do it that way on tests or quizzes.
There we go.
Okay, we did some problems like this before. Does it go up or down by the same amount each time? Like to go from 12 to 6, what is, you could say it's dividing by 2, but it's also subtracted by,
6.
yes. And then similarly from 6 to 0, is it going down by the same amount?
Yes.
Yes, so this is arithmetic. If it goes up or down by the same amount, and the common difference is -6. Okay, you can think of adding -6. It's a little odd because it's got the word difference in it, but always think of it as what you're adding, which could be a negative number.
Okay. And arithmetic, that's when what's like the definition for that exactly?
When it goes up or down by the same amount each time.
Okay.
So this is a well, no, this is not a good example of it. So from 5 to 8, you're adding 3, but from 8 to 13, you're adding 5. From 13 to 20, you're adding 7. And see that, notice that you're adding a different number each time. So this one is not arithmetic.
Would this one be
well, it's just not arithmetic. It's not geometric. It's something else. And it's because the differences are not constant.
Okay. It's not.
Okay, so this time it's dividing by 2. Sometimes, well, I guess this wants to know if it's arithmetic again. If you subtract 18 from 36 to get 18, and then subtract 9 from 18 to get 9, you have to somehow like believe or figure out that it is not arithmetic, like it's not going down by the same amount.
Right.
It's dividing by 2, which is not the same as arithmetic. Arithmetic is only addition or subtraction. So this one is not arithmetic. It is not going down by the same.
Wouldn't it be?
Yes, that's geometric.
Okay, so geometric is when they like multiply and divide. Arithmetic is when they subtract and add. Okay.
Exactly. Said perfectly.
Cool.
So this is where you may want to go to your calculator on the right and do like 3/4 minus 1/2. 3/4, yeah, 3/4 minus 1/2. And then hit enter. You can keep, yeah. Now go ahead and hit enter on that right side. Yeah, on that calculator. I'm trying to go ahead and put your cursor back where the 1/2 is. And just hit enter or the return. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then do 1 minus 3/4. Okay, notice it's the same. And you would keep going. You would maybe do one or two more just to make sure that you are convinced. It's until you are convinced. But you got to do, so you can't do it that way because that's negative. You got to do the next one 5/4 minus 1. You can think of it as right minus left. So this one is arithmetic because the common difference is so what are the common differences? They're on the right side of your screen. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So here you would do the same thing. You would take 1/2 and subtract 1/6. Okay. That looks like a third. And then do the same thing. Do 5/6, subtract 1/2. Okay, and you're looking pretty good. Maybe do one more.
And then what, 7/6 minus 5/2?
5/6, yeah.
Oh, 5/6. Oops.
Yes. And 3 is probably good. 3 is probably enough that you're not gonna. So no. It is not. It is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is arithmetic, and then the common difference is, yeah. Sorry, I saw something different at first. Yes. So the same approach works. Yes, you are subtracting 2 each time.
Yeah. The nth is it would be 11, right?
No. The first thing you have to decide here is this arithmetic? So could you just hit the X there? Because I'm gonna snip this one in. But let me grab a snip here. But could you do the same thing that you were doing, which is to subtract the term? Because I need you to find the common difference. And I need you to be, but it's got to be, you've got to do right minus left. So it's 10.8 minus 11.7. And the order does matter. It's why I'm asking you to do it that way. Okay. And then do the next one. What is that? 9.9 minus 10.8. Okay. All right, great. So let me share my screen. Okay, so whenever you're seeing my screen, you found that the common difference is minus 0.9. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Now there's this formula. It's an equals a1 plus parentheses n minus 1 times d. That is always correct. But what I suggested, if you recall from last time, was I actually suggested we'll figure out what would go here. Okay, like imagine going the other direction. What would go here? And if you need to, use that calculator, but tell me the number that would go into this position. Do you have an idea here? Give me a number for that.
Yeah. 12.6.
12.6. Yeah. So the kind of the shortcut of this formula is you figure out the number that goes here, okay, which is 12.6. You then write the d value, see where that comes from, and then n. Okay, and this is what goes into that box there. This will save you from having to manipulate this equation if you do it this way.
Okay.
Okay, so when if you have do you have that entered into this box here on your
Yeah.
side? Okay, go back to your calculator on the right, enter this equation, but instead of n, put in parentheses 20.
Negative 5.4.
Okay, so go ahead and check those and see if it's right. If it is, move on to the next question and go ahead and share your screen also.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm seeing your screen here. And first thing, I guess, is to look at it and decide, is it going up or down by the same amount?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, but where your cursor is fine. There in that box. What the number that you need to type there is the number that would go left of 12. What would go left of 12 in that sequence? It's kind of like going backwards. It's like, well.
Oh wait. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's good. It's good to think through it. Now, the ordering of what you've got isn't quite right. There it is. Yes. Okay. So you're going to put 4 in that box plus
8n or plus 8n.
Plus 8n. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then to find the 20th term, you use that formula and you put 20 in for n. Perfect.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, it's probably about to get different.
Nope,
I take that. Nope. This is actually the same. So this is so you got to find the common difference.
So I think it's gonna be 5. Yeah. And maybe 7 minus 5.
Yes.
It would be 5 minus 7. Yeah. So it'd be 5 plus.
No, it's the number that goes left of 7. Yes, 2 plus. I heard that right. 2 plus 5n. Yes. And then I don't know what it's asking for. Probably the 20th term, maybe.
102. Cool. Yeah. It would be 51 plus 3?
Yes, yes. You're actually subtracting the difference, but in this case, it ends up being adding 3.
Yeah.
And visually, you should like say, okay, is that right? Like if the numbers are going down, like you just did there, it's got to be bigger on the left. So
right.
So 54 plus 3n. And then in the next one is that number you just found.
would it be minus?
Oh, I'm sorry, minus 3n. And sorry, yeah, and I didn't catch that. Yeah, so the other one has to change also.
Okay. So it has to be subtraction no matter what when it's like.
No. It only if it's going down. The common difference is minus 3, and it just I wasn't paying attention really. So here your common difference is also a negative number because it's going down each time, and you're gonna see that common difference right there. It's minus 7, and you're checking. You're like, okay, well, let me just check it. Make sure. Yeah, there you go. You got it. So what number goes left of 86? It's going to be a bigger number. It's going to be 86 plus 7.
93. And then
93.
93 plus, minus 7.
Yes.
Times 20.
Very good.
7. Cool.
So it is yeah, that works. I was just going to suggest putting it in parentheses, but that way is good too. Let's do one more. I'm sorry.
Plus.
Oh, you got it in the bad spot there. There it is. Okay. Yep. So your common difference is 2/3. So this is where it gets hard because I think you've been struggling with like, well, do I add 2/3 to -1 or do I subtract 2/3 from -1?
Would be -1 plus 2 over
So go ahead.
3.
Right. And so here's your check. Is that number already in the list? And then is that the second? So that means you should have done the subtraction instead of the addition.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there you go. So it's minus 5/3. And then plus 2/3 n. And there you're going to want to enter that on the right side so you can get that 20th term. You've got to go calculate that. That's the.
I was going too fast.
So convert that to a fraction. Yeah, there you go. That'll give you the one that you're looking for.
Cool.
Three fourths. You got the 3/5. And then is minus 5/4 already in the list?
Yeah, so it'd be subtract.
Yes. So that's, you got it. Yep.
Would be plus 3 over 4n.
Yes. If it'll take, yeah, maybe convert that. Sometimes it'll take it. It looks the same. So rather than backspacing that, you can always just move your cursor or use the arrows. It's okay that you do that, but that could save you a little time. And so you're looking and you're like, all right, is that in my list 3.1? No, that's good. That's good. That's what you want. Because the number to the left has to be bigger. So go ahead and add 0.8. You're used to seeing it in your list and you're like, oh, I don't want that because but here 3.1 makes sense because that number precedes 2.3.
Okay. I'm having a brain fart right now.
3.1.
And then plus 0.8 and negative.
But it's going down. It's minus 0.8 this time because it's going down 0.8 n. Yep. And then in the next one, you got to go off to the right and actually figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep it as minus 12.9. That's probably more.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's probably gonna.
Sun's coming over, so and I have to open the garage, so I wanted to make sure he wasn't out there.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, and that's the end of this one.
I'm gonna just step away for like 20 seconds, but go ahead and get that next one up and we'll start working on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Okay, hopefully you got another assignment or two for us to look at. That went pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's almost loading. It's so slow.
Do you have plans for your day away from school coming up?
Well, I had some errands before, so I did those before. And then after this, I think I'm gonna go see a movie with my boyfriend and maybe start on my story for English that's due.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
All right.
Okay, how do I do this?
Yeah, I'm looking it over now, trying to decide what the best approach will be. Could you scroll down onto the I see. All right, scroll back up, please. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, let me snip this in. We'll have to do this in sort of pieces. But yeah, let me help here. I'm really glad you're able to do most of those just with me talking you through it. I think you're gonna have a lot of success on that. This though does require a bit more effort. Unfortunately, it does require that ugly formula that I was showing you earlier.
Mhm.
So this right here, this 11 means that n equals 11. So we're going to take that 11 and we're going to plug it right in there
And wait, I'm so sorry. We're gonna plug it into where?
into this formula right here. Are you seeing my screen?
Oh, no, there it is. Okay.
Okay. So this is critical. This is really important. This subscript means that n is 11. And we're going to take that 11 and put it in for n right there. We're going to take this value of d, plug it in right there. Instead of an, we are going to take this 43 and plug it right there. So this becomes 43 equals a1 plus 11 minus 1 times 5. Do you follow where each of those numbers came from? Because that's very important here.
Yes.
Okay. Now notice there's only one unknown left.
And that'd be A.
Yes, a sub 1, which means the first term. 11 minus 1 is 10 times 5 is 50. So 43 equals a1 plus 50. Subtract 50 from both sides, and you get a1 equals -7. Okay, now this is more involved. There's much more to do here. The formula again is an equals a1 plus parentheses n minus 1 times d. You have to find a1 and you have to find d. That's required. Now your a1 is -7. You just calculated that.
Right.
N is the variable, so the variable always exists. And from the problem, d is 5. So in your first box where you see an equals -7 plus n minus 1 times 5, this is what you have to enter. So what I'd like you to do is enter that and then share your screen, and I'll show you how to find the first 6 terms and graph as well.
Okay.
Go ahead and share your screen whenever you've got that up.
Yeah, pull it up over the rug because maps. Quiet. Maps.
Okay. So on the right, could you go back to the Desmos Scientific?
Okay.
Yeah, the other one.
No, the one.
So scroll down, it's the second one, or there it is. Yeah, it's the scientific calculator. Okay, so type in n equals 1, letter n equals 1, hit enter, and then type in -7 plus parentheses n minus 1 times 5, close parentheses, times 5. Put a 5 there.
Oh, 5, just 5.
Yes. Okay. So that is your first point. Go to the left screen and scroll down. So your first point is going to be at 1, -7. So down 1, right 1, and then down 7. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Now on the right screen, put n equals 2. And go, no, not you don't, no, don't do that. Go up to where it says n equals 1 and just change that to n equals 2. Perfect. That's your second point. 2, -2. Okay.
And 3.
And do 3. And this time it's 3. Now, do you see a pattern? Do you see how much it's going up by each time? And you have a choice here. You can either keep entering like 4 to get the next one, which is probably what I would do. I wouldn't even I wouldn't try to think that much about it. I would just change the number.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have, but I can't push it on my own.
Your poor little orange tree ain't doing so good.
Okay, and that's the last one, 6.
Poor bud, or little oranges growing on it. And I don't know, who do I call to have come out and look at it?
Perfect. So that should do it. If you want to check on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let me grab a snip of this. I know this first part is very unclear. It's a giant increase in difficulty from what we did before, but you're going to see that it's the same each time. So let me share my screen. All right, so the formula that you want to get really familiar with is this one right here. AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D.
Mm-hmm.
This 13 is N. That's N. N is 13. We're going to put that right there. D is given, it's 4. We're going to put that there. This 42 is A sub N. That's probably the most unclear one, but we're going to put that number there. So it's 42 equals A1 plus 13 minus 1 times 4. You're going to have to be able to do this on your own. So really try to like buy into or ask me questions if it's not clear why this is the case. Sorry, I scrolled down a little too far. So notice there's only one unknown here, just A1. 13 minus 1 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. Subtract 48 from both sides. That gives you A1. Okay, now that's not the answer. That's I think the problem here is like you get something and you feel like, okay, that's the answer. No. What you need is A1 plus N minus 1 times D. You need these two values. Okay, like that's what you have to find. Your A1 is minus 6, N is the variable, and D is given. D is 4. So that's your equation. This is what goes in that first box. You have to find A1. We did that in the first part, and then we substitute in the value of D. So N is your variable.
And then you said N was 4.
Well, no, I didn't say that. D is 4. D is given as 4, and that's the problem is you're trying to put a number in for N, but N is the variable.
Right. Okay. And so for the graph, we always start like N would be like N is 1, and then we equate, and then
yeah. If you want to
go up by
Yeah, if you want to share your screen, I can look at what you're doing. I was gonna ask you to do one more graphing just to kind of sure that up, and then maybe you can do those on your own later, but we can keep looking at questions together. Yeah, so go to the right and then type in -6 plus parentheses n minus 1 times 4. And that's your first point, 1 minus 6.
Okay.
Okay, so this one's really similar. Can we look at another problem here? I just want to see how many of these that there are.
Yeah.
So this is the same. Okay, this is the same. No, I'm sorry. So these are. Let's look at 5 here because I think 3 and 4 were graphing ones. Actually, let's go back to 3. You're gonna want to see how to do the equations here. Okay, yeah. So let me grab this one. So you know how to graph it once you have the equation, and so I would just recommend trying as hard as you can right now to like really focus in on the steps, because there are a number of them, but you can do this. It's like it's there is no shortcut here. Is my point.
Right.
You know that an is a1 plus parentheses n minus 1 times d. So what we're trying to do is figure out 2 things, a1 and d. But notice d is given. But to fill in this box right here, you need a1 and d. Okay, so we're going to get it. So this right here tells you that n is 20, d is -2. And I think this is the hardest part, but I wouldn't just try not to overthink it. -27 ends up being this thing on the left here. So it's -27 equals a1 plus 20 minus 1 times -2. I filled in 3 positions. So now we have to solve for a1.
Sorry, I'm just writing this down.
Yep, understand.
2. And then can I just? No, I couldn't put that into Desmos, huh? I have to do that by hand.
So, it's like sometimes there's things that are more work to do if you just make a few steps. You get it there. I am always trying to give you the path of least resistance, but unfortunately, there's not much you can do.
Right.
So here you have to add 38. And you get, I mean, you can add and you can do the multiplication, Desmos, but there you go. There's your a1. So the reason we're doing all this is because we want an equals a1 plus parentheses n minus 1 times d, and you need these 2 things. D is given, in your problem, it's given as -2. But A1 you had to calculate. So AN is 9 plus parentheses N minus 1 times -2. And this is your, your box. That's
Right.
what you're entering. You got to find A1, you got to find D, but D is given.
Okay.
So go ahead. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and enter this one in and then share your screen. And let's look at the next problem 4 and I'll work through it again with you. We really want to get that down as much as possible.
Right. I'm saying that it's wrong.
Okay, well, let me take a look at what you entered.
Okie
Oh, it's 11. I'm sorry.
It's
It's 11, not 9. Sorry, I didn't add right here.
oh, okay.
And okay, there, and that's, yes, that needs to be in parentheses. Also,
Okay.
there it is. Okay, so let's go to number 4. I don't think we should use our time to graph this. You can come back. So let me grab this question here. It's exactly the same as the previous one, except it's different numbers. But it's the same steps, the same recipe. So let me snip that in and I'll share my screen. Again, I'm very repetitive because there is nothing new about this. You have to know this formula. And you already have D. Like if it gave you A1, you would just put A1 there and D there and you would be done. You'd be totally done. But since you didn't, you got to go find A1. So to find A1, this is your N, this is D, and this number goes here for A sub N. So it's -35 equals A1 plus 15 minus 1 times -3. So see if you can solve that for A1, please.
Seven.
It is 7. Yeah, A1 is 7. Perfect. So that number, that number goes back in here. It's your AN is A1 7 plus parentheses N minus 1 times -3.
Okay. It's not that hard, honestly. Like from the chapters before, this seems easy.
I would agree. That what you're doing right now it's very repetitive, and
Yeah.
that gives you a shot because when you're doing the same thing over and over again, you know, with enough practice, you will eventually get it.
Right.
So go ahead and share your screen whenever you're ready. We'll maybe just to close out this last little bit, maybe just do your graphing for one or the other equation. And we'll because five through whatever, they're a new type of problem, which we won't be able to finish in this first hour. So maybe just go back and maybe, unless you've already done the graphing for it, maybe just pick this one and just the first 6. I think you got an extra one there, but
Okay.
so there we go. There you go. And if you see a pattern, you can just start putting the dots in if you want to confirm your answer, you know, to keep doing it this way. The quizzes we know have been multiple choice, so might help to do that. All right, well, thank you so much here. Please use that other booking link for the next hour, and just decide if you want us to continue moving through this or work on something else, but I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
See you shortly. You're welcome. Bye now.